The tragedy over the Atlantic. Air France 447 was a scheduled flight from Rio de Janeiro International Airport to Paris Charles de Gaulle Airport. On the 1st of June 2009, 216 passengers and 12 crew members boarded the aircraft, with most passengers being either French or Brazilian. In the cockpit was 58-year-old Captain Marc Dubois, with close to 11,000 flight hours, 1,700 on the A330. The relief first officer was 37-year-old David Robert, who had 6,547 flight hours and 4,479 on the A330. Lastly was the first officer, who was 32-year-old Pierre Cedric Bonin, and he had 2,936 flight hours with 807 on the A330. He would be the one flying the aircraft. The aircraft departed Rio de Janeiro on the 31st of May at 7:30 p.m. Brazilian Standard Time, with a scheduled arrival of 11:03 a.m. Central European Standard Time. The aircraft left the north coast of Brazil and passed the communication dead zone over the Atlantic at 1:49 a.m. UTC. This was the last time ATC talked to the crew members. At 2:01 a.m., the captain left the cockpit for his rest time and left both first officers in the cockpit. The aircraft then shortly encountered turbulence and icing conditions where the CVR recorded hail-like sounds from outside the aircraft. First Officer Bonin turned the plane to the left to reduce speed and turned on the engine anti-ice system. At 2:10 a.m., due to the icing conditions, the pitot tubes iced over and the aircraft turned off the autopilot and autothrottle. During this time, the aircraft transitioned from normal lull mode to ALT2 mode, which made the aircraft more sensitive than usual. Bonin then took over the aircraft, and due to the turbulence, the aircraft rolled to the right, which Bonin then countered with moving his side stick. This overcorrected the airplane, and the airplane started to bank left. Here is where things go from bad to worse. Bonin was still overcorrecting the airplane's roll, but then he abruptly pulled the side stick up. The plane climbed with vertical speeds of 7,000 feet per minute, which was 5,000 more than what the A330 was built to. Bonin still pitched the plane up, and at 38,000 feet, the plane started stalling, and despite this, Bonin still increased pitch to more than 30 degrees. The ALT2 mode did not provide stall protection, and the plane started plummeting. Robert tried to save the airplane, but Bonin pitched nose up, making a dual input. The captain came back and also tried to save the plane, but by the time Bonin gave the captain his side stick, the plane was at an unrecoverable altitude. The plane crashed into the Atlantic at 2:14 a.m. belly first, and the impact killed all 228 people on board. After some investigation, the BEA managed to find the cause of this accident was the aircraft suffered temporary inconsistencies between the airspeed measurements, likely resulting from the ice crystals obstructing the aircraft's pitot tubes. This caused the autopilot to disconnect,